What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the last video in this series. This time around we are going to be showing you and demonstrating how to optimize assets and help speed up our page for this website. One of the first things that we can do is, this is specific to Visual Studio, but there are plenty of other applications that do this. This is a part of VS Web Essentials, which is CSS minification and JavaScript minification. So I have 3 style sheets right now, and according to various practices and tools, it discourages or it recommends minimizing the number of requests you have. So to help that, we're going to combine these 3 JavaScript or CSS files and combine them into one file and then minify it. So I'm going to select my elements or my pages, right click and create a CSS bundle. I'm just going to name it main. Reset does not exist. That's weird. So inside of our bundle configuration, you'll notice that it's interesting. Inside of our configuration, you'll notice that it selected them based on it added them based on the order that I selected them on. Now I'm really curious why it's failing right now. Let's see what happens if we just try to minify one. That works just fine. Let's try and get this. Let's try this again. We'll just select all of them like that. Web Essentials. Create CSS file bundle. Let's go ahead and name it bundle 1. Okay, so there's obviously something going on with that. May need to update my extension. Oh, yep. Should take just a second. So hopefully that resolves our issue. Oh no. Okay. Actually think I may have broke it. Let's give this a try. Web Essentials. Alright, so it worked that time. You'll notice that if we open up our folder, we now have a bundle.css and a bundle1 or a bundle1.css and a bundle1.min.css. So what they do here is that they combine all of them into one big file, and they also minify it for you. So if we go back into our file explorer and look at the file sizes here, our various files add up to about 10K. Combined, that says 8K, and this is a relatively small site, obviously. Combined it runs up about 8K, and then minified it runs at 5K. So that's a pretty good improvement to the file size. It's going to help your browser download it a lot faster. So I'm going to comment out this code up here and just drag over our min, and if we refresh our page, everything still works as expected. I'm going to look at our net tab. You can see we still have a lot of HTTP requests, but it did request the minified bundle, which was successful. And then another thing we can use VS Web Essentials for is to minify our JavaScript. So I'm going to use it to minify the jQuery rotator, and we're also going to update that to use our minified one. Now, one thing that can prove to be troublesome while working on JavaScript is if you minify, you lose your line number of where code broke. VS Web Essentials added functionality for mapping. Don't remember the exact term for it, but what it allows you to do is, if there is an error that occurs somewhere, it's going to come back and tell you what line from your source. So it says our source is jQuery rotator.js, and then it gives, there's various other stuff in here that they're going to use. So I haven't tried this before, but I'm going to add just a unreferenced JavaScript function. And we are using the minified one. So inside of our net tab, of course, so we could view page source. That doesn't look right either. Oh, I didn't say. That's why. Okay. See that we are pulling in the min. It didn't throw an error. Yay. Let's see here. That was on the initialize. Well, x equals. Let's give this a try. That wasn't what I was trying to do. X divided by 0. Leave it to me to try and test something that element by ID blah value. See if maybe that works. And it doesn't. Oh well. Alright, well, that was an utter drastic failure, but the point I was trying to make was if any JavaScript errors that do occur, it's going to let you know what line number it fails at inside of your source file. Now, looking at other ways of optimizing our content, pushing all of our images that don't change, or our JavaScript and CSS if they don't change much, onto a CDN. There are your browser's allowed to download from, I believe it's 35 concurrent downloads from a domain. And so if you separate out your assets into different domains like a CDN, your browser will download them all together. Another section where we could do some optimization are on images. We can use image sprites on our elements down here. If you just Google image sprite tool, there are plenty of ways to generate CSS sprites, or let's see here, image sprites. What image sprites, what it does is it allows you to put all your images into one giant image. Then you reference those images inside of your CSS. So for instance, I'm putting all of our social icons into one big image. Just real quickly. No, I'm not going to do all of them, but as you can see on the right, it's going to give you your it's going to give you the CSS rules you need to add to these specific elements. Then, let's see here, I'm sure we can download our actual image. And so in this instance, it's going to take we would take all 6 of our images and compress them into one for saving. We could also do it for these elements. We'd need to change it up a little bit so that we didn't get overflow problems. Golly. And then we also do it for our image buttons, but there's a lot of other areas we can do to improve our performance. So I'm gonna see here, YSlow. YSlow is a tool developed by some of the people at Yahoo. It's a Firebug add-in that performs tests on your various web page components and lets you know what can be done to improve the performance of your website. So we're going to run it real fast. So we have a C, which is typical. So for we need to make fewer HTTP requests. So it mentions using CSS sprites. We're not using a CDN, so that's bad. In this instance, it's okay. Avoid empty source things. We've taken care of those. Need to add expires headers. That's typically something I believe we would do on our server side. That's not anything that I'm aware we can do quickly in what we're working on. So let's see here. It looks like we can actually compress, gzip compress these. That's more work. Don't care right now. JavaScript on the bottom, CSS on the top. Avoid CSS expressions. Externalize your JavaScript. We have one line of inline JavaScript, which was our jQuery rotator initialization. Reduce DNS lookup, minify CSS and JavaScript, avoid redirects, avoid duplicate CSS and JavaScript. E-tags, another server-side piece. Ajax cacheable, use Git for Ajax. We're not doing any of that, so it's not a big deal. Reducing the number of DOM elements. We're keeping our DOM slim. 404s on our favorite icon, which is a bummer, but that's something the browser does automatically. Not using any cookies. Don't have to worry about cookie-free domain because we're not using cookies. Void alpha image loader, which is IE related if I remember right. Do not scale images in HTML. Should always save an image to the exact size you intend on using it. If you're wanting to use it in different areas, save different versions of the image or invest in some software that does that for you. It saves a lot it's a lot of work for your browser to resize 20 or 30 images when they should be the exact image size that you need. Plus they look a lot better when the browser doesn't resize them because the browser doesn't always optimize them the best. And make favicon small and cacheable. We don't have favicon right now. We're just working locally, so it's not that big of a deal. So you can also look at the various rules, components. You can see that our document is 8.6K. Our JavaScript is almost 100K, but most of that is jQuery. Our CSS is slim. Our CSS images, there's quite a few, but at 158K is not that bad. Then 404 for the favicon isn't a big deal either. So the statistics are going to show us that our page size is a little under 300K, which is awesome. And when it's cached, it's only 19K. So we have really great piece going on with that. A lot of times nowadays you'll see web pages up into the meg range. They have such heavy assets on them. Then we have more the tools is going to give you tools for minifying and other various tools you can use to improve your front end performance. I've been using YSlow for about 4 years now. It's a really great tool for Firefox. There's also Google Page Speed, which is I believe it's a Chrome plugin now. I haven't used it in a while. It's a little bit more strenuous testing. This is going to give you YSlow is going to give you quick fixes to improve your stuff. Google Page Speed is going to look at some other components when it comes to what you can optimize. But so yeah, just wanted to quickly show you a few things we could do to optimize our website, which you should always budget time to optimize it, because it can save you and your client money in the long run, and it's real easy to do. So with that, I'm going to finish off this web series. I really appreciate everybody sticking through it, through the stumbling and fumbling that I do. So please provide me any feedback, and I'll do my best to continue to provide decent quality content, and I'll see you guys on the next one.